Hi everyone, welcome back to Dula's Kitchen. It's the month of love and I thought I'll make a red velvet layered cake. I add a bit of cocoa which reacts to the acidic vinegar and buttermilk to keep the cake moist, light and fluffy. And the cake is not overly sweet but perfectly rich at the same time. So let's get started. I have a lot of ingredients going on, so I'm just going to add, and the full recipe will be in the description. I'm sifting my flour, salt, baking powder. I have my butter here. I'm just going to soften it up quickly before I add my sugar. Adding my sugar, giving it a mix. With 3 eggs here. I'm adding my eggs. Adding 1 egg at a time, beating after each. Using my spatula to just scrape down. And I put this aside, a separate smaller bowl. I've got some oil and some cocoa powder. Whisking that. I'm using normal red coloring. I've got one that's open, so I'm adding got some vinegar here. I'm adding 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. You can use essence. I'm also adding my coloring mixture, oil, vinegar, cocoa powder, giving this a mix with the electric mixer. Just mixing it through with the spatula quickly, and then I'm going to mix it with the electric mixer. I've got buttermilk and I've got my dry ingredients here. Adding half of my dry ingredients, with half of the buttermilk. We'll be mixing this with electric mixer and just repeat the process. This is the consistency of the batter, and I've got 2 pans which I used spray and cook, and I've lined it at the bottom with some parchment paper. This is going into a preheated oven, 170 degrees Celsius. I am going to bake it for 25 to 30 minutes. So my cakes just came out of the oven. I'm waiting for it to cool down, then I'll flip it. And then I'm going to put it in the freezer to cool down completely. And then we'll start with the frost. I'm just removing, I'll just flip the cakes and I'm just removing the paper. You can see it's a very soft cake. Waited about 15 minutes, and now I'm going to wait for it to cool down completely, and then it's going to go into the freezer. I'm starting off with the cream cheese frosting, and I'm using the same recipe I used for the carrot cake frosting. So I'm just going to mix everything together and then we'll start frosting because of time. Okay, so this is what I do with my cakes. I wrap it and I put it in the freezer, because it's easier to work with frozen cakes, with a cake that comes out of the freezer when you do frosting. So I made 2 cakes, and then after I made the 2 cakes, I actually realized that I need some crumbs for the topping. So I made another batch, so I'm going to do a 3-layer. So I'm going to start off now with my crumb topping. So I'm starting off with the first layer. second layer. Third layer. Okay, so now we are busy with our crumb coating. So what is crumb coating? Crumb coating is your first layer. So the longer the cake can be in the freezer, the better. Because the freezer locks a lot of moisture instead of drying. The first layer is ready to go into the freezer and just set a bit. Then we start with the second layer. Okay, I'm starting with my second layer frosting. So it was in the freezer for about 15 minutes. So when working with frozen cakes, your cake won't move or sink while you're busy baking. The sinking part, I'm not so sure about it, because I think I'm not a professional baker, so it might sink. But the best part of the frozen cake is that it's not going to move. So second coat is going into the freezer now, and then we're going to do our straight edges just for about 15 minutes. So I just removed it after the second time from the freezer. It's such a delicate thing. I even put my glasses on when I do it. This is the best I can do. Okay, so this is the crumb topping. I just want to show you how moist the cake is when you cut it. So this is what I want to do. That is why I needed extra cake. So now I'm just piping. My frosting just made it. So this is the cake, and I'm done. I'm going to cut and plate up now. Ta-da-da-dum, ta-da-da-dum. Ta-da-da-dum, ta-da-da-dum. This is when you put your cakes in the freezer. Time consuming, and a lot of work, a lot of patience, but always worth it. So my Valentine's cake is ready, and even though I don't make a lot of big cakes, I'm really happy with it, and it came out very nice. I hope that the video is not going to be too long, but I'll have to cut here and there. So if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, follow me on Instagram or Facebook. The link and the recipe will be in the description. Wishing you all a happy Valentine's Day. Make every day a Valentine's Day. Thank you for watching, and God bless.